I'm good.
Alright, that's the first version of this.
Sergeant Walton's speech. This is the group. Everybody say Rakasan.
Roxanne.
And me.
Hoorah.
Alright, here we go back to Sergeant Walton.
Alright, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, Sergeant Walton. Rakasan.
Army Regulation 750-1 states that operator and crew maintenance is the most critical operation of the Army maintenance system. Preventive maintenance checks and services is mainly for identifying and correcting faults on Army equipment. Operator maintenance does not work without the services conducted at the 20 level and the 30 level like they do over at Bravo Company. PMCS doesn't fix inefficient service program. So if they're not doing their annual, quarterly, or biannual, semi-annual services, what we do as PMCS operators is not going to fix those deficiencies. PMCS is very important, especially as an 88 mic or a mortar transport operator. Vehicle readiness. Vehicles are inspected regularly to deter damage, equipment failure, and or injured personnel. When you conduct a PMCS, the first thing you want to do is open the technical manual and read safety instructions under the warning label in the front of the TM. Any kind of defects you find during your PMCS, you want to annotate on the DAA form 5988 ECHO. According to Technical Manual 9-2330-238-14, any kind of serious problem you have with the vehicle, you want to annotate and let it be known to your supervisor. All right? You want to make sure the equipment's clean, free of any kind of debris, so we can PMCS the vehicle and we know if it's got any faults. If obviously it's covered and caked in mud, we don't know that something's got a class 3 leak because it's not getting through the mud. All right? We want to inspect the bolts, nuts, and screws, make sure they're not loose, missing, bent, or broken. We want to inspect the welds for gaps where the vehicle is welded, different parts, make sure there's no cracks or anything showing. We want to inspect the wiring, the connectors, any kind of electrical conduit, make sure there's no bare wires showing, all right? We also want to inspect the wear, damage, and leaks in hoses, and lines, and fittings. Make sure all the hose clamps and stuff are tight so there's no leaks. Finally, we want to make sure all the vehicles are properly lubricated, all right? When I was stationed at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, from 1999 to 2003, I was part of the logistical operations platoon. We were in charge of maintaining about 525 trucks, to include lubricating all those trucks, bringing those trucks in for annual and semi-annual services, also prepping those trucks for third shop where we had to steam clean those trucks to make sure they were clean, like I spoke about before. The first PMCS you want to do is the before PMCS. First thing you want to do is do a 360-degree walk around of the vehicle, ensure all the tires are properly inflated, make sure there's no obvious damage that might deter you from accomplishing your mission. Make sure there's no loose lugs, broken electrical equipment like your headlights, taillights, and things such as those. Also, you're looking for any kind of leaks underneath the vehicle. Class 1 leak would be any kind of wetness or discoloration, showing that there's leakage, but it's not enough to form a drop. A Class 2 leak would be enough to form a drop but not drip to the ground. A Class 3 leak would obviously form a drop and drip to the ground. That's when you more than likely have to deadline the vehicle, all right? Next thing you want to do is you want to go step by step through the technical manual and go by each item number. I actually took one out of the TACOM handout with a quick reference guide. Item 16 on the HEMT. Before check, it's on the steering. The procedure is check the steering wheel for operation while the engine running. Turn the steering wheel from left to right. Steering wheel should move freely. Obviously, if it doesn't do that, then that's a deficiency. You got to annotate on 5988 ECHO. Let your supervisor know. That'll usually deadline the vehicle. Next thing you're going to do is the during PMCS. Also, you're going to be checking the steering during that time. You're going to be checking the transmission. You're also going to be checking the brakes. And you're also going to be checking your gauges that whole time. Obviously, you're going to have some gauges in these trucks that don't work properly. You being the assigned equipment operator, you're going to know which of those gauges work or don't work. Finally, you're going to do the after PMCS when you come back. Once again, you refer back to your technical manual, go step by step on the item numbers. You're going to check your fluids again, make sure you have all the proper fluid levels. You're going to do another 360-degree walk around because you might have ran into something out there and damaged your equipment. Finally, PMCS is very important.